Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we are checking out episode 22 of Spy Family, and we got introduced properly to this Fiona Frost, this Nightfall, and I gotta tell you, I don't trust her for a second, because anyone who thinks that they can just wander into the Forger home and challenge Yor as Mother of the Year, Wife of the Year, super, housekeeper, I just fight me, right? Okay, that's where I'm at, because they're such an adorable family. I love the dynamic of them, and while I get that Fiona is coming from a place of having this love for Lloyd and she can feel however she feels, but Lloyd has made his decision and you have to respect that, okay? I thought maybe we were getting to that point where she was like, I have to accept that this is the family that he has decided to put together and it's not my mission, so I have to just move on. But then we had that moment when she walked away and she said that she was gonna continue to prove that she is the only wife for Lloyd, and I will fight her, okay? I know that Yor doesn't need the help, but I will. And it looks like we're gonna be continuing with this joint mission with Nightfall and Twilight going on this. It looks like maybe we'll be dealing with some more insecurity from Yor as she sees all of these ways that she thinks she's failing. I think that it's mostly just that Yor brings something different, right? Like, she thinks that she needs to be this person, the specific archetype of what she thinks like a good wife and a good mom is, and that's just not what she fits into. And the truth is, it's not what fits with the family. You know, this family that has been put together with, you know, like all of them together, including Bond, who's like a new addition to the family. All of them came together because they didn't fit in with what normal is, right? Like, they're not a normal family and they don't fit in with what's normal and they don't enjoy what's normal. So the fact that she's trying to fit into what like a normal average wife and mom is gonna ruin the dynamic. That's not what would make the family work. She has to find how she works within that equation. It's like I was saying in the last reaction of how, you know, maybe Yor isn't a good cook, but Lloyd is. And even though like maybe the societal norm is that the wife and mom cooks and is really good at that, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be that way, right? Like, it just has to be even, right? Like, if you're in a relationship with someone and you're living together, you don't have to fit into specific roles that like other people dictate. You just have to figure out where your strengths are and like divide it evenly between the two of you so that it's not like one person is doing more than the other. So maybe Yor isn't the one who cooks, but she can do lots of other things around the house too. So it's one of those things where I feel like she's trying to like fit like a checklist and it's not working out for her. But I just need this Fiona woman to like back off. That's where I'm at. I get very defensive about like family dynamics that I care a lot about. So it looks like we're gonna be getting into this like spy mission that she was offered at the beginning of the last episode, and we're getting closer and closer to the end, which I'm not ready for. I don't want to like let go. I don't want to wait for more episodes. So I feel like we're going to be looping back to the main operation and getting closer to the Desmond family and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into this episode. I'm gonna try and not get too heated, but I promise nothing. In 3, 2, 1, go. This is very dramatic. I kind of like that she's like super dramatic in like her internal world, but she's like very like blocked off as in her like exterior expression. I like a bouncy Twilight would be adorable. I agree. Weird way of phrasing it, but okay. I will fight you. I feel like I kind of like the acknowledgement though that like Lloyd has changed as a person, because it's kind of like to the extreme here, right? Like, Fiona's seeing is like this awful thing because he's becoming less of a spy and more of like someone with a life. But I see it like as a positive thing because he didn't really know who he was before, because he was constantly changing identities. He was always whatever new persona he had to take on in order for the mission, and he didn't have anything outside of that. Whereas now he has like a whole life where he gets to like figure out who he is, and I think that that's great for him. You know, like, he started at such a young age of losing everything and then becoming a spy and only really knowing like war and conflict and like the stress of being on missions. And now he knows what it means to just like enjoy the peace that he's trying to protect. Like he's part of the life that he wants to continue to protect and preserve by being an agent. So I see it as a positive change. I think it gives him more of an incentive to be a good spy because now he knows what it's like to live that life, right? Whereas before it was like this thing that he didn't have, but he felt protective of and he wanted to like ensure that people were safe. But now he's like, he's experienced it firsthand. It's very different. And also, we love the Forger family. Did he steal the painting? Because that seems to be something that happens a lot in wars. Just like steal pieces of art. Ooh. Ooh. Wait, okay, human experiment's awful, but we also had Anya, who was part of that, right? Maybe not necessarily specifically with this, but it might have some connection to like the experiments that were done on her, maybe. You'll be fine. Twilight's top notch. Our plan is tennis. I like how he's like, I wish there was another way. I didn't know there were underground tennis matches, though. Is it because of the gambling? I'm just wondering why it's tennis. I know of like illegal like fighting rings and stuff, but tennis. Yeah, what in the world's an underground tennis club? It won't go that smoothly. Would this be a Spy Family episode if there wasn't a moment where Lloyd was really stressed and had to completely change his plan? He's like, I practiced at home, which meant that like he practiced with his family. Mm-hmm. I like that his job is to like keep her on track. Why did they look so like tough if they're just like retired tennis players? Like, is the world of tennis more cutthroat than I know? Again, it's just tennis. I mean, they have like a mission to complete, but like, y'all don't need to be that intense. I bet he's really good at this. Yeah. He's like, I just practiced, I dabbled and practiced a little bit with my family. I love that Lloyd's just good at everything. Like, he's just really intense and good at stuff. The action shots, though. I love it. I bet she's pretty good too. Ooh. Yes, that's what will happen. I mean, she's definitely got a good imagination. Facial expressions. I don't know, they might get a bit of a target on their back though if they're coming in and like being really good, right? Like if there is someone who bet that they wouldn't win and they're gonna lose a lot of money. Well, that doesn't seem like a good idea. I feel like using some kind of drug is probably not a good idea. Oh, okay. Oh, are we still worried about what Fiona said? Lloyd was not complaining about you. Do not be fooled. Look, I would not. I wouldn't. I would pretend I didn't see anything, okay? You decided to take her out? I know nothing. It seems like he is capable. No, no, with that human experimentation, might be still going on in a way that might cause some issues. I get it's just tennis. Everybody, calm down. Again, they might not be as quick. Well, now you can't use that. What was the point of that? Well, that's just unnecessary. He actually agonizes a lot. He probably thinks too much. Oh, now they've insulted him, though. She's going to crush you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's ominous. Not the most emotive pair, huh? Yeah, then feel like something's definitely up. Yeah, that's what'll happen. But he was worried about you. Oh. he's he's like not gonna take that as what you think. She's like very intense, and he's like, I don't think she likes me. I wasn't expecting like a chemical to be given to them before the match. I was expecting maybe something would be going on with like the kids, the Campbell's kids, to like enhance their gameplay or something. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's not gonna be happy if he loses. A new yacht? Do you already have one? What? Why? Why is there like an exhaust on your tennis racket? What could possibly be the mechanic? Ooh. Oh no, you made her make a mistake. She's gonna be mad. See, that seems more useful to me. Like having a racket that you can like extend seems more useful than putting like an engine on it. I wonder if they're playing it up though. If they're not necessarily using everything they have because they're trying to play into the fact that the drug worked on them. Yeah, I feel like now they're gonna play. The spy music is kicking in. Nice. Mm-hmm. Ooh, not quick enough. Oh, there's some other tricks. It's true too of like wanting to play into the fact that they're doing well so that you don't have to deal with a bunch of other tricks that might happen for like the whole game. Mm-hmm. This is their tennis court, so see, he's still a good agent. He's just not always in agent mode. Oh, we're ending. I was like, I didn't even know that we were like getting to the end of the episode yet. But like, that is true though, of her like saying like, oh, this is like the Lloyd that I remember, the Twilight that I remember. Um, I just get used to calling him Lloyd, but I guess Twilight is kind of more of the name that he's known for, that he's had longer. But like he can be an agent. He can be in that like Twilight spy mode, but he can also like turn it off now, right? That's kind of like what I was saying before of like I feel like he's become more of like his own person as like an actual person with a life, but that doesn't mean that he's also not a spy. Like he is, and he's very good at it, and he can be in that mindset of like I need to be in spy, get the mission done mode, but then he gets to go home and like be a parent, be a husband, be like a normal person, and not need to always constantly be in some kind of persona or like some identity that's been invented for him. Even though he might think that that's what he's doing, he thinks that like Lloyd Forger is like just this character that he's playing. It's more of who he is than maybe he's ready to admit. I like getting to see more like spy missions though, even if I'm worried about Yor. Why do we have a sniper? Ooh, is there gonna be some kind of face-off between them? I don't think I've ever experienced such an intense tennis game before. Not that I watch a lot of tennis or play a lot of tennis. Out of the like handful of sports I used to play when I was a kid, tennis was not one of them. I was more of a badminton kind of person because that was like what I was able to play. It was like available. It was a lot harder to play tennis, but yeah, very intense. It kind of reminds me of the dodgeball game, except without kind of the childlike imagination that we had in some parts of the dodgeball game that were a lot of fun. But I really like seeing that we get to have lots of different sides to who Lloyd is, right? Or Twilight, or whatever you want to call him. Like I feel like it's easy to kind of see him in this mode of like parent, husband, Lloyd Forger as him like trying to go about his life, but he is still a spy. Like he's still doing lots of things. We've kind of seen little hints of him like being part of missions and like going off and doing missions. Like it's implied that he's doing a bunch of stuff in the background and then coming back to like the main mission with Operation Strings. I feel like I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but like coming back to the main mission and ensuring that everything is going as smoothly as possible. But the truth is like the core of what they're at in the phase with that operation, with that mission, is reliant on Anya, which I feel like is why we've been focused a lot on her. Is like she has to get to a point where they are invited to a social event with the Desmond family. Like that is where we're at. So Lloyd doesn't have a lot to do except like support that and then do these other missions, because we talked at like the early beginning of this part about how there's like a shortage on spies that are able to go out and do missions. So he's working a lot doing like other things, other missions, while also working on this one. So he's probably doing a bunch of stuff as a spy, and we just didn't really see that because it wasn't part of the main story. So it's a good reminder of like how good he really is and how people look up to him and how he's kind of viewed by other spies and things like that, because we don't really see him interact with other spies all that much. So I like getting to see more of the spy stuff. It's a lot of fun with the disguises and dealing with all of these different characters in this very, very intense underground tennis club, which is wild, but okay. I like how the explanation of why it's tennis is just he really likes tennis. Like Campbell just likes tennis, so that's why. Whatever works for you, right? Like whatever it ends up being like your passion, maybe don't do it illegally. Maybe do it a little bit more through like legal means than having like an underground club for it, but at least he's following his passion. But it looks like we're going to be continuing with this. We didn't have like the two parts to the last couple of episodes. We did have like a little bit of a fun story at the end of the last episode after the credits, but it looks like we're kind of focusing on like one story again, which I feel like fits as we're like wrapping up this part of the series. And maybe getting a moment where Fiona and Yor come face to face and maybe have a conversation about how they feel about the other, or hopefully Fiona acknowledging that Yor is like actually pretty good at what she does. I just want her to acknowledge that. Okay, I feel like somebody who is like a little bit in competition with her saying that Yoda's actually like good at being like a housewife, being a mom, being a wife, and all that kind of stuff would like really lift her spirits. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this place to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so you know next time I post a Spy Family reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!